Good afternoon, everybody. Gosh, man, it feels like it's been forever since I've done one of these. Opening statements. I think for us, going into this year with Auburn women's basketball, we're just trying to, you hate to use this word as a coach, build culture, build consistency. Try and make sure that all the players and all the coaches are on the same page, building vision. And I think that we managed to do that to a certain extent. We got started right after Memorial Day, and we've been working ever since. And we're excited. We're really excited about November 3rd and what that's going to look like for us in our program.
Raise your hand, we'll get you a mic, and we'll take questions. All right, Jason.
Larry, just talk kind of the development over the summer, how valuable
Yes.
that's been for your program, and maybe a kind of the thought process on what you're trying to get ready for to open the season.
Well, I think for us, with almost 12 new players, getting used to me and my style, just trying to build chemistry. I know one thing when people always ask me, what's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? Those 4 extra weeks that you get in the summer make a huge difference. So we were pretty much done my plan till September 15th. We were done by July 20th, so just having those extra weeks really gave us more time to build and like I said, develop that chemistry. We know the SEC has some of the best posts, some of the strongest players in the country, and we just wanted to spend this summer, because we're not the thickest group overall, building strength going into this year.
Based on your personnel, do you have a sense of what your team's strengths and style might be?
A little bit, a little bit. I've always kind of prided myself on, as a coach, is being able to adapt your system to the team that you have, and not necessarily being able to tell my assistant coach, hey, I like this specific type of forward that can do A, B, C, and D. Just give me the best player available and we'll figure it out. And I felt like, obviously we put together a team in 30 days, but in that 30 days, we felt like we got some players that are going to be some cornerstones and for this upcoming year and years to come. And we felt like we were able to do that.
You mentioned some players that are going to be those cornerstones. Who are some of those players that you believe are going to be those cornerstones, and what do they bring to the table?
Well, I'm not sure we actually have a quote-unquote star. I don't know who our star is going to be. I don't know going into every game who is going to shift the defense. That's the easiest way to build your offense. If you can figure out who's going to shift the defense, you can figure out where to kind of go from there. But I do think we, for like SEC Media Day, Hadi Lay, Jamia Harris, Caitlin Duhan, those will be some of the players with me for that. Ariel Jackson had a really good summer. Just her ability to get through gaps and get paint touches that can also shift the defense. She had a really good summer. Maya Petticord can really shoot that basketball. She's one of the better shooters that I've coached in my last 10 years. So I'm excited about trying to figure out ways to get her open. And, if she can do her job, it'll make everybody else's job easier.
Sharia Daniels got one of the awards. Could you just talk about her as much as a person, as a player?
Well, Soraya, I will use the word, she's consistent. Just as a person every day, for the most part, same energy, always upbeat, ready to work. She had a tremendous summer in the gym, so I'm hoping that you'll be able to see the fruits of all that labor. But she's just so consistent, and everybody gets along with her. And when you can have people like that in your locker room, that talks about that culture piece that we were talking about before. She understands the Auburn brand. She understands what being a member of this Auburn family looks like. And we can always look to her for a lot of those different things. If I need to know a chant, a word chant or something like that, I know I can always go to Soraya, right? She's been doing them all her life. But, she's had... she's had an interesting 5 years, you know. But just to see the way she endures them and keeps putting one foot in front of the other, I envy.
How have y'all handled revenue sharing in the new landscape, just post-house settlement? What effect do you think it's had on women's basketball as a whole?
Well, you know, no matter what basketball program it is in the country, you know, the word support, you just want to be supported as a program. And, you know, as I kind of, if I told you the number I spent on my last year's team, you know, you'd be like, how did you win any games, right? But you know, for us, it's just trying to show a product that that the Auburn family is proud of, that they want to come and support and buy season tickets, but also, you know, support in the rev share NIL space.
Just with the schedule in front of you, know what this
Yes.
league's like, a non-conference, a couple of really tough ones there too. What are you looking for out of your team now between now and then in terms of, I know one thing you mentioned chemistry, that's shown up pretty early, but what's now the message as you get ready to start actually playing games?
Well, we know you always want to win, just like a football game, right? You want to win at the line of scrimmage, right? We want to win in the paint, right? Regardless if that's rebounding, points in the paint, limiting their points in the paint, right? That paint, that blue is going to be the most important thing for us as we kind of lead into the year. You know, we start off the road at Charlotte. They're going to be a way better basketball team. And then we have some home games coming up after that before we kind of get into a 2-week span that's going to be super tough with Rutgers and Cal and UTSA and Oregon. But that 2-week stretch is really going to prepare us for those first 2 months, you know, in SEC's play. It's a 4-week stretch in there that I'm like, boy, all my hair is going to be gray. But that's why I wanted to take this job and you know, but that 2-week span is going to prepare us for that 4 weeks, you know, in January and February. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Ooh, it's going to give me a neck cramp. I'm going to have to give me a taller one.